Alright, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Don't know Tingo. Brother Bowman, you get to me I say? Alright, so me come to discuss one of the most controversial topic ever. You get to me I say? Yeah man, and you know say why it cause a controversy. Yeah man, and this controversy is between the Seventh Day Adventists and the persons that worship on Sunday day. You get to me I say? Now, this topic is mainly about tongues speaking. You get what me I say? Because you have some person who accept tongues, while some saying that the tongues that the Sunday person speaking in today's world is not tongues. Now, me just come figure address about that. You get what me I say? Now, me read a passage of scriptures and break it down as simple as possible as I can go. You get what me I say? Yeah man. So just listen to the passage them keenly and leave a pick sense of nonsense. Allow the spirit and then you go study for yourself to show yourself approve. You get what me I say? But now waste no time. So the first passage I'll cover is First Corinthians 14 and verse 2. First Corinthians 14 and verse 2. You get what me I say? And it says, For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. For no man understand him. Albeit in the spirit he speaketh in misery. Now look back on the key point again within this passage. He that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. Alright. First Corinthians 12 and verse 30. Now look at First Corinthians 12 and verse 30. Of all the gift of healing, do all speak with tongues, do all interpret. Now, this is a rhetorical question the Apostle Paul asks here. So, and the answer is no. Not everybody speak in tongues, not everybody interpret tongues. You get what me I say? But yet still, in Mark 16 and verse 17, Jesus Christ says, And these signs shall follow them that believe in my name. Shall they cast out devils? They shall speak with new tongues. Mark it. So the Apostle Paul says that not everybody are going to interpret tongues, not everybody are going to speak in tongues. Jesus Christ in Mark 16 says, If you believe in his name, you shall speak with new tongues. First Corinthians 14 and verse 2 says, He that speak in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto God, but unto men. Now, you cannot let the Apostle Paul and Jesus Christ tag and war with each other. You get to me and say you have to make them harmonize. Now, there's a difference between new tongue and a difference between unknown tongue. You get to me and say? Now, let us go to First Corinthians 14 and verse 22. Let me clear up some doubts. First Corinthians 14 and verse 22. Wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. But prophesying serveth not for them that believe not, but for them which believe. Focus on this part. Wherefore tongues are for a sign, not to them that believe, but to them that believe not. Now, this type of tongues take place on the day of Pentecost. So tongues are for a sign to them who not believe. So the Gentiles and all those persons never believe. They don't believe, right? But yet still when they heard the Galileans, the Apostle Peter and him friend them, speaking in their language, they believe, say, whoa, what a wonderful God these men serve because they spoke in our own language. Now, at that moment, if you notice, there was no interpreter. The apostles speak directly to the people in their language, right? Now, that tongue was new to the apostles themselves because at the first time I speak it. You get me I say? And the Gentiles and the Ilalam and the all nations were there. You get me I say? Hear them speaking in their language without an interpreter. They don't need an interpreter, right? Now you have the unknown tongue, which First Corinthians 14 and verse 2 speak about. Now the unknown tongue, this tongue needs the interpreter, right? Now look at this point. Now on the day when the apostles were speaking on the day of Pentecost, wasn't they speaking to people? They were speaking to people, right? But yet still, First Corinthians 14 and verse 2 says, For he that speak in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God. I am sure that they were speaking to people and they understand. So, what is the unknown tongue? So, on the day of Pentecost, the tongues that the Apostle Paul is speaking here about unknown tongue, that wasn't the tongue that was speaking on the day of Pentecost. The unknown tongue is different from new tongue. You get me I say? So that is what they are mixing up and create a whole chaos over. You get me I say? Unknown tongue does not speak unto men. The unknown tongue needs an interpreter. And if you don't have an interpreter, you speak unto yourself and unto God because you speak mystery. You get me I say? These tongues that the apostle speak was new tongue. You get me I say? That doesn't need an interpreter. He speak directly unto the Gentiles. Alright. First Corinthians 14:2 says, yeah. Alright, now First Corinthians 12 and verse 10. To another, the working of miracles, to another, prophecy, to another, discerning of spirit, to another, diverse kinds of tongues, to another, the interpretation of tongues. Now, First Corinthians 12 and verse 10, I make you know say, you have people speaking in different kinds of tongues, while you have other person who only can interpret tongues. You get me I say? Speaking in new tongue or speaking in tongue that takes place on the day of Pentecost, that doesn't need an interpreter, as I said earlier. Nobody was there interpreting nothing for the apostles. The Gentiles, them and them bag of people, who never believe in a God, understand exactly the language within that speak. You get me I say? Whilst they have the language we need interpretation. You get me I say? No, if you don't have an interpreter, as I say, that is where you go sit down and relax and you speak unto yourself and unto God. Unknown tongue is different from new tongue. There are two different types of tongues. But these people nowadays world fail to understand, say, there are two different types of tongues. All they know and all they believe in is that the tongues you must speak must be a native language. Now, they are celestial language, and I strongly believe, based on what I have read through and what I've go through, nothing can change that, and nothing will let me deviate that there is two different types of tongues. The tongues that you speak, which is native language where the other native country are going to understand, whilst you have another tongues where you speak where you only speak mystery in the spirit. Because it is unknown unto men. That's what the scripture says. Nothing else. There's nothing else. It's unknown unto men. You have no interpreter, you speak unto yourself and unto God. Because if it was only one type of tongue, on the day when the apostle Paul was speaking, they wouldn't speak to men because scripture say, 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 2 says, speak not unto men. So who were they speaking to? Not unto men? Wasn't the persons that the apostle was speaking to, wasn't there? They were men. You get me? I say so. That's why people are killing themselves over this. And I will not deviate from what I have believed in. Persons have their point of view and them suggestion, but I will not deviate from this. There are two types of tongues. Yeah, man. And I just basically that my company about. Nothing else. I get to me, I say? Yeah, man. Alright, have a nice day. Peace out. So, remember the scripture them. What if I run back through them for you? So you can read for yourself and have a fair understanding. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so it's 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 2. 1 Corinthians 12:30. Mark 16 and verse 17. And 1 Corinthians 12 and verse 10. Read all those passages with understanding. Then you will see what I got. Yeah, man.